The Florida Gators have landed a commitment from blue chip linebacker Ty Jackson. Billy Napier just sent out the sunglasses emoji, so we got the shades on. Ty Jackson, you are a Florida Gator.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast and Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever the podcast and on YouTube. As always, I am Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. When I recorded this morning's episode of Locked On Gators, at the end of it, I was like, hey, might be back later on today. And someone left a comment on YouTube that said, you said you might be back today. Are you expecting something? And then literally a minute later, as I was reading that comment, Ty Jackson flips from USC to Florida. Ty Jackson's a player that he came to visit Florida a couple times this summer. It kind of died down a little bit when Florida had we'll say, rough start to their season. I think we could say that fair. He was at the Miami game, and he hadn't been back on campus for quite some time after that. He flipped to USC, and when he committed to USC, we talked about this being a difficult hold for USC, that it was going to be difficult to keep a kid across the country, because we always talk about that. This is an elite kid. This is an elite linebacker. He's one hell of an athlete. He plays aggressive, physical downhill. And it's easy to see why a kid would want to come play linebacker here, right? The true freshmen are playing right now, and they're playing well. Myles Graham more so than Aaron Childs, just because Childs is in a weird hybrid type role. But the two true freshmen from 2024 are playing right now. You got to figure if you're a 2025 freshman, you can rotate in. There's also Shamar is going to be gone. By the time you hit year two, Shamar is going to be gone. Pup's going to be gone. Wingo is going to be gone next year. RJ Moten, I believe, is going to be gone. A lot of people are going to be gone. So you're going to have that playing time there available. And this 2025 recruiting class for the Florida Gators is improving. And like we talked about weeks ago, I will not knock improvement. You were 51st in the country just a few weeks ago. Right now on On3, that has brought you up to 23rd in the country. Ty Jackson is your third highest rated commit on On3. And then on 24/7, you are 26th in the country. Ty Jackson has not yet been added to the class, which is embarrassing. But you're 26th without Ty Jackson on 24/7. And this is a great addition to the class. Like, this is a blue chip talent. This is the kind of move that you see after a huge win over a team like Ole Miss. That's how you get a kid who is kind of iffy. That's how you get him locked in. Big wins like that is how you add an elite talent to your 2025 recruiting class. And that's what Billy has done here. I do think that it's definitely reassuring to see the defense play so well and to be a linebacker here and say, well, linebackers are a strength this year after being very bad last year. That's another thing when we talk about Ty Jackson is the linebackers last year were very bad for the Florida Gators. And so if you're a recruit, I understand why you'd show a little hesitancy to commit to that. But this year they're playing great. The true freshmen are playing. Myles Graham was just your highest graded player on PFF or highest rated defensive player on PFF for the Ole Miss game, which I know people don't care too much about grades always. I will tell you, based on who retweeted the grades with Myles Graham at the top, I think a couple of people care about it. I'll say that. I'll leave it at that there. But this is a huge addition for the Florida Gators in the 2025 recruiting class. You add a great athlete to your linebacker class. And also, this makes the Miles Johnson take even better. Miles Johnson, of course, the other linebacker committed that was previously committed to Alabama. They kind of backed off, and Florida eventually finished the flip of Miles Johnson there, but him being your top linebacker wasn't an ideal situation, right? He's more of a project player. Now you go, okay, well, we've got Ty Jackson. We've got our blue chip linebacker, who, again, we talked about him when Daniel Pierre-Louis committed to Florida because they both go to Seminole Ridge. And so we talked about Daniel Pierre-Louis, or we talked about Ty Jackson when we talked about Daniel Pierre-Louis of this is a guy you got to kick the tires on. You've got someone in his high school class in your 2025 recruiting class. You've got to kick the tires and at least try to make something happen there. And that's what Florida did successfully. So Florida landed him. We will get to the chat. I see you. I see all your beautiful faces in there. We will get to the chat next on Locked On Gators. Make sure that you take advantage of all the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. Monday Night Football, going to be a doozy. All I'm saying, visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite team play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I've said I exclusively use Game Time at this point. I don't even look at the other apps. I'm like, or websites, I guess, if you use that, not the app. But I don't even use other apps. I go right to Game Time, I find my game, and I know I'm getting the best deal there. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, each code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code Locked On College for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time, baby. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free wherever listen to the podcast and on YouTube. This live is going to be a little shorter than usual just because, full disclosure, we have to go to the vet in about 15 minutes. So it's going to be a little shorter than usual, but we will get to the chat and we will enjoy this because, oh, man, this class it's shaping up, right? We talked about, Florida needs to get to an acceptable class. And by the way, they're not there yet. They're not. They're 23rd in the country. You got to get to top 10 to 12 for me to even say that's acceptable. Not good, but acceptable. And Florida's working to get there. And like I've said, and like I will continue to say, progress is progress, and we will celebrate progress whenever we can. And Florida, you've now got the 23rd class in the country, which again, not good, but just a month and a half ago, you were 51st. That's big time progress, right? Ty Jackson, by the way, because I realized we didn't do this last segment, he is a 4-star in every major recruiting site. On 3, 4-star linebacker, 95th player in the country, 8th linebacker, 14th player in the state of Florida, 24/7, 4-star, 207th player nationally. ESPN, he is a 4-star, 54th player nationally, first linebacker in the country on ESPN. And Rivals has him as the 233rd player in the country. All a consensus 4-star throughout. 6'1" and a quarter, 197 pounds according to On 3. But we will get to the chat now, wrap this up, and maybe be back again later on today. What's up, Q? What's up, Joshua? At work, won't stop, can't stop. You're not going to be allowed to. Something tells me about that. Let's go Gators. LBU. Hey, Florida. I mean, you look at the 2024 recruiting class, and you've got Miles Graham and Aaron Childs up there. And then 2025 now, Ty Jackson, Miles Johnson still has a high ceiling. He's more raw than usual, I think. But you've got the potential to be building yourself a really good line. Like next year, imagine the linebacker room next year, because the linebacker room next year for the Florida Gators right now is Pup Howard, maybe Shamar James, maybe back. I don't know what his grade's going to be like. So Pup Howard, maybe Shamar James, Miles Graham, Aaron Childs, Jaden Robinson, Miles Johnson, and now Ty Jackson. That's freaking nuts. Like that's a nuts linebacker room. There's just no other way to put it. That's just crazy. Clayton said, I think you'll be back on later today. Hopefully going to be a busy week Hopefully they wait until I get back from the vet. That would be great. Ready for next season already? Why are you ready for next season, baby? We're bowl bound this year. We're bowl bound right now. Come on. This is awesome news. Let's go Gators. What's up, Brian? What's up, Thomas? Now we need Solomon Thomas, Dallas Wilson, and Naeem Alford. I don't think Naeem Alford is going to come to the Florida Gators. But I think you've got at least a fighter's chance for those other two, Solomon Thomas and Dallas Wilson. I think you got at least a fighter's chance with that. Billy flipped the switch on the whole team. Amazing how a big win changes the mind of a teenager. Amazing. Yeah, it does. Just a big win, and it's like, all right, well, I'm there. Like I said, I still have my set point. I need you to beat Florida State, which is very achievable, right? Then I'm back. Not just one win, need the body of work. And Florida's defense looking really good. I'd imagine also if you're an athlete like Ty Jackson, who he's got like crazy burst. I'd imagine you could see how linebackers have been finding success blitzing here. They've been generating pressure. They missed. I mean, you look at against Ole Miss, Jaden Robinson had a free run at Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart just made him miss. And that happened. But you got to think as a player, you can look at that and say, well, I can get in there. I'll finish the play. And that has to be at least reassuring if you're a linebacker there. Billy's cooking. We got Kareem at the Gators. He'll get some good transfers. Yeah, I think Florida's gonna land some big time transfers. Hopefully. Billy back in the kitchen cooking this morning. Go Gators. Go Gators. What's up, Brandon? Go Gators. What's up, Shifty? Been a while, Shifty. Hope the games are going well. By the way, follow Shifty KH who's in the comments. He creates videos for gaming, so go follow Shifty Cage there. Q said those pickups would make a really good Christmas gift for me. And then Think Tank throwing out the Gators. Q, I'm just saying my birthday is in like 2 weeks. So, Billy, you want to make some magic happen? I wouldn't be mad at you if you did that. Make this a very pleasant birthday. Thank you very much. The Florida Gators have added to their 2025 class. They are 23rd in the country. We will see if 24/7 has updated their rankings from 26th. Now, I was going to say that would be ridiculous. Hold on. That can't be right. Pull up the 2024 class. Still 26th in the country. They have added Ty Jackson now. And okay, that's ridiculous. But yeah, that's crazy. The Florida Gators added Ty Jackson. This was a big addition that we talked about again. When Daniel Pierre-Louis committed, we were like, hey, you got to swing for Ty Jackson. Now you've got a kid in his class. And it worked. You got him. You've now taken over the locks for the 2025 recruiting class. The Florida Gators building, getting better. And I love this edition. You watch Ty Jackson's film and you're looking at a damn good football player there. So very happy to flip him from USC, which, by the way, this was two-pronged. USC underperforming this year. Florida lately overperforming. You got Billy Napier's job stability. You've got bowl bound. It's a beautiful thing. This was two-pronged, and the Florida Gators coming out on top of it. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free reviews in the podcast. We'll be back maybe later for Locked On Gators. I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI, and I'll see you all next time.